Alrighty, well, hello everyone. Welcome to Watercolor with Thomas, where we explore water and color and the elements of watercolor. In today's video, on this fine Wednesday morning hour, I'll be looking at doing a 30-minute monochromatic portrait statue from some sort of reference, and I'll be attempting to do that. So that's kind of the journey so far. I was kind of inspired to pick this hobby up on December, and my mom was kind enough to just get me these watercolors, so I figured I'd use them and also document the process. So that's kind of like the essence of it. This sketchbook is not ideal, and it's kind of tedious to tape up, and I feel like if the tape messes up, it's just gonna like destroy everything. That's okay. So yeah, without further ado, my laptop's in front of me, so my hands are gonna go over there, but I'm gonna set a 15-minute timer, and I'm gonna, just start drawing this reference. So, kind of what I'm noticing here is there's going to be this like anchor point on the eyes. So I'm just gonna like put that right over, where would I put it? Kind of over here, I think. That seems pretty good. And then these eyes seem to, my hand kind of extends, but like it's to kind of capture this angle because my reference in front of me. So it seems to kind of follow this type of guideline. And my hands are kind of shaky right now, so the lines aren't really straight, but that's kind of the essence of it. And then I'm just gonna like quickly measure with my hand kind of the width of that first eye, which seems to be kind of here. And then we've got kind of that separation distance, again approximation based because I only have 15 minutes to kind of do this. And then we've got the other width of the eye. Oops, almost hit my brushes there. Probably shouldn't have those there when I'm sketching, so I'll just move that quickly. And then we've got the final length, which is right over here. So that's kind of the total length of the portrait. And then I guess the hair. You might as well capture the hair as well. So it's kind of approximately like right over here. So it's pretty close. So that's kind of the, that's the eyes. Then we've got some sort of like nose here. Then what was this line again? I forget. Wait, interesting. Oh yeah, this is the hair. And then we've got the other eyes here. And we should also have like some sort of nose. So that's gonna be like right over here, give or take. So yeah, I mapped that out. Now I'm just going to look at kind of the angles of that anchor point, which I set originally. So that's gonna be kind of here. So, oh man, these watercolors aren't kind of in the way. That's my lamp. Yeah, it's gonna kind of go like this. Yeah, that seems pretty good. And that length is gonna be, my hand is always extending. Maybe I should have the reference somewhere more visible, but it's gonna be kind of like right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then there's gonna be another length. It's kind of, again, diagonal, but it seems to be parallel with like the other reference. So if I kind of like did this thing over here, it would look like this, and then it would kind of like have this parallel sequence like that. So that seems to be kind of just crafting the face. And then we measure just approximately how high it is. So it kind of looks like here. And then we kind of get this other angle, which is gonna go like this. So it's gonna create this other line that's gonna like kind of go like that. It's gonna intersect, and it's gonna make this kind of form. And then we've got this, which is gonna go here, and that's gonna go there, which looks absolutely lovely. And then we've got this other angle, line which kind of looks like that. So it's gonna, so I'm just gonna like kind of just do that. Beautiful. And that's going to go kind of like here. So it's going to go here, which is awesome. And then we've got kind of this other angle, which is going to go like that. So it's going to kind of go like this. Then we've got kind of this other, well, I should probably measure actually how kind of like long it is. So it's kind of like here. So it's going to go there. And we've got another length angle. It's going to go there. So it's like, we're just going to draw another line. And conveniently, that's going to like eventually coincide. So I'm just going to like kind of put another line here. So yeah, this is kind of what we're dealing with right now. And so far that's 5 minutes, give or take, of me just laying down stuff. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then just like, I guess, continuing on, it kind of like seems to curve out like a little bit. So we'll do that. And then I guess like I should probably map the vertical distance just from one of those anchor points. So that's gonna go here, kind of like that. And then kind of just capturing the ending curve. So it's gonna go like this. It's gonna go in like that, which looks pretty good. And just to like get the length, it approximates into kind of this right here, which is pretty awesome. And then we've kind of got this like straight jaw happening. It's hard to see based on the reference, but basically kind of go like this. I wonder if that's actually kind of correct. I'll have to kind of measure and confirm that one length. So yeah, approximately it looks kind of like this so far. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so I guess now we'll just start refining the details a little bit. So I'll just start by dimensioning out those eye sockets which I drew out. So now it's gonna go kind of, top is gonna go approximately here. You're gonna have some sort of kind of curve over here, and then you're gonna have something like that. Well, give or take. It's gonna kind of go like this. So, then you're gonna have some sort of like triangular, like vertical here. It's gonna kind of go like that. And you're gonna have like this right here, which is kind of interesting. And then you're gonna have another kind of detail here. And this is gonna be kind of washed in. So, and then you're gonna have like some sort of light shadow here. So yeah, that's kind of the first part to it. I guess while I'm doing that, I should also note the bridge of the nose. So this is always kind of tricky because I feel like I'm gonna just mess up this, but it kind of like seems to go like this, and it's a parallel line, so it's gonna go like that. And then it's gonna have like this kind of triangular brow, which is gonna go like this. And it's going to then have kind of this shape on it. We're also going to have a cast shadow here, and we're going to have like some sort of eyebrow. So it's going to kind of go like this. So yeah, that's kind of the starter. And then just to map the relative distance from the eye line, it kind of goes like that. And then what's kind of interesting is your nose kind of curves like this, and it forms kind of this shape. This angle is actually kind of important to capture because it kind of defines the form of your nose. So kind of getting this angle like that, and also getting its length is kind of important because otherwise your nose might look weird. So yeah, give or take, it's close enough. So yeah, then we have this kind of interesting like brow, which kind of goes like that. Good enough. And then I still have 6 minutes. I could probably like refine it a little bit better while I'm doing the process, but kind of looks like that. So, and then kind of just doing this, kind of capturing that like nose curve, which is pretty good, and then doing that. So that seems to be so far where I'm at. What's nice is we could probably just map out the brow line to kind of do this, although it looks approximate, right? So it's gonna kind of have this. This eye is really interesting because it kind of has this shape, which could be decomposed, so you could kind of see that. And then you've got kind of this like eyelid action happening, which is kind of here. And then you have the height of the eyelid, which I want to capture as well. So it's going to be approximately here. It's actually going to be kind of the same as the other one. So you're going to kind of have this curve here, and then you're going to have this curve right here. And then you're going to have this here, and then you're going to have that there. And then you're going to have the brow. It's the eye, what is that called? The eyebrow, yeah. So that's going to go here. And it's just going to kind of extend all the way over here. And then it's going to be thin, a little bit thicker. I still have 4 minutes. So obviously this is going to be an incomplete, but at least it captures some of this form. The day I actually get these things done in like 15 minutes would be the day that like I'd be proud of myself, I guess. So then we have kind of this like eye, and I think we need to accelerate the process a little bit. So the mouth might lose some accuracy here, but it's kind of going to have this like bow, and then it's gonna kind of be narrower on this side. It's gonna be slightly larger, and then you're gonna have some sort of like something like that, and then you're gonna have some sort of narrower width, kind of like this. You're gonna have like some sort of cast shadow, then you're gonna have like some sort of chin. Again, the accuracy here is like kind of scuffed, so but it would be good to at least capture like the height of that chin, because that kind of shows you your proportionality, so you can kind of tell that it's kind of supposed to be like that. So, and you're going to kind of have this straight segment. Just for the sake, you're going to have like some sort of jaw like this, and then you're going to have some sort of like butt chin like that, and you're going to like kind of have this shading. And then it's time to, I guess, capture somewhat the hair, because I don't think I did that yet, so kind of just developing that form. So you're gonna kind of approximate this, because it's again not as important, but it is kind of nice to at least include in the drawing. So you're gonna have like something like this, and then you're gonna have this hairline, and you're gonna kind of have, and I did capture this part like here, so it's gonna kind of have this curve like that. And then I do need to add this ear, so I'm gonna start doing that like right there. So that's gonna be, I don't actually know where the ear is, but it's kind of in line with this, so it's gonna look like that. I have 2 minutes, so it's I don't actually have that much time to really map out the other features, but at least proportionally we have the main ones. So kind of, yeah, this is good enough, I think. Then it's gonna kind of have this curve, it's gonna have another curve, it's gonna have another curve, another curve. I guess it just has a lot of curves. And then it's gonna do this, and it's gonna do that. Yeah, something like that. Again, kind of the artistic quality here. And then you're gonna have like this is like something which I'd love to capture a little bit better, is kind of the neck angle. So then you're gonna have like something like this, and getting the neck length is pretty important. So you're gonna have something that's gonna be like relatively this long, and then you're gonna have this other angle, and it's gonna kind of go like that. So it's gonna go like this. And then you're going to have kind of this other angle which coincides with your butt chin line. So it's gonna kind of go like that, and you're gonna kind of have this curve which develops. And then you're gonna have this. I do want to capture the shading part a little bit better, but yeah, you're gonna kind of have this proportional jaw here. This is gonna be a bit darker, and then you're gonna have a cast shadow like this. You're then gonna also have another cast shadow that's kind of in line with your ear end. So it's gonna go like that, and it's gonna kind of make this connection here. And then just to like finish up the hair, I have 30 seconds left. You're gonna kind of go like that, and it's gonna wrap around. So, and then that kind of like captures the whole portrait. So yeah, kind of nice. And with 15 seconds. Yeah, and I'm still recording, which is awesome. So beautiful. I should unmute the timer. Well, lovely. So now I'm going to watercolor this. I wonder if you guys could see the portrait. So I'm just going to, I guess, start it pretty soon. I'm just gonna enjoy the coffee. Alrighty. So generally with these studies, I like to just use a really thick brush, and I kind of do need to dry it off. So now add our watercolor set. It is monochromatic, so we are gonna like do just a blue, and we're just gonna do a really nice light wash, and then we'll just see how it goes. I'll make sure to have the reference actually up here so you could kind of see the resemblance. So, but yeah, I do like the process of just enveloping the face and then being able to capture the relative proportions somewhat accurately. Obviously the mouth isn't there. I kind of ran out of time to really map everything consistently, but now I think we could do some magic with this watercolor to give it that nice appearance. So yeah, I'll start now the timer for 15 minutes, and we'll start doing the wash. So yeah, just using an artist loft size 12 to kind of paint over this face. So we're gonna add some water, activate the paint, and then we're gonna like, yeah, have the brush kind of somewhat damp. We'll test it out. Yeah, this seems to be pretty lovely. So yeah, just gonna add some water, and we'll just start with a light wash. And this one gives me a really interesting bluish purple color. I remember this brush was originally using pink, so I feel like I mixed some of the colors up too, which isn't really a big deal. So anyways, just applying a lot of water to create this first dilute wash. That's at least what YouTube and ChatGPT told me to do, so I kind of followed their instruction. They're quite knowledgeable sources at times. So anyways, so we kind of have this nice light wash established to set the temperature. I actually don't know what the term temperature means in art yet, but I just use it to sound smart. So yeah, we've got this general wash done, and I just want to see if I could lift some of this paint to kind of establish this like area of lighter versus darker just initially. Not that it really matters. So yeah, anyways, we washed over it, and now we're going to give it some shadows with a darker midtone. So yeah, let's see, testing this. yeah, this could be pretty good. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, just noticing from the reference right now that you're going to have really dark, this might be a little bit too water rich. It's a big brush, so yeah, that's kind of causing some blooms. So yeah, you're gonna have this really like darker region. You're gonna have preserved light on the sockets, but you're gonna have this really accented eyelid because it's kind of barely opening. And then you're gonna have another cast shadow here, and you're gonna have a darker shadow just kind of underneath that nose, and you're gonna kind of have it wrap around the eyeball. So it's gonna kind of look like this, and it's gonna actually wrap around the entire structure. And then you're going to have another shadow that's on the eyebrows themselves to kind of create this first mid-tone layer. There are regions which are a lot darker, which I do kind of want to exploit right now because I don't have time to really do everything. So I think Divide and Conquer is the strat for this one, and it's gonna kind of look like this, and that looks pretty good. Maybe go a little bit darker, but you know, for all intensive purposes, just kind of drawing this in. I guess not drawing because it's watercolor, but there, kind of gonna have this, and then I'm gonna have the eyebrow, and it's gonna kind of fade like this. Yeah, this is kind of, yeah, I think I kind of messed this shadow part up a little bit. That's okay. It's part of the process, but yeah, so it's gonna, at this point I'm just putting on paint, so I might have to pivot a little bit, and I already kind of spent 5 minutes on this part, so we do need to make some progress here. But let me just connect it a little bit better with water so we kind of bridge the gaps a little bit better. So we're gonna kind of get this nicer looking, more integrated, cohesive piece. Yeah, so that looks all right. And then just for the ending, I'm gonna like really add the accent to that one eye because it is there. So it's gonna go there. You're gonna accent this. It's gonna kind of be darker as well, and that's kind of your first eye done. For the second one, you're gonna accent. Also, I don't know why my brush kind of does that. I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna kind of go like this. It's gonna kind of have this curve here, so it's gonna kind of go like that, and then you're going to have this eyebrow, then you're gonna have this general like wash right here. It's gonna kind of go like that, and then you're gonna have kind of a cast shadow here like this, and then you're also going to have kind of this really dark accented outline here with a lighter outline. This takes some precision to do with a size 12, so it's not necessarily the easiest thing. But yeah, that side turned out a lot better than the other one. And this actually is super dark, so I'm just gonna go straight into that. And this is really outlined, so you're gonna kind of have this composition here. This eyebrow is darker, so you're gonna kind of have that. And then, yeah, that seems to be kind of all the accenting there. So far we have 9 minutes left, which is pretty awesome. And I'm just going to kind of water this section a little bit, so kind of get some of those shadows, hopefully. Yeah. Just like make it a little bit gentler. And then, yeah, kind of have this here, have that. And that seems to be pretty good. Okay, that's my lamp. So now it's time for kind of the nose. And the nose is it's kind of interesting because it has this shadow So yeah, it's just about getting the right pigment, the right depth to capture that. So I'm gonna kind of have this curve here. I'm gonna kind of have this here. And then what I've noticed is this nose seems to kind of have these two cast shadows kind of like that. So we make sure to include it. And at least like this lighter color seems to like establish the general. And then what I've also noticed is it kind of has this like bridge, kind of like that, but it's not so dark, so I do need to kind of, oh, I dipped my brush in coffee. That's interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have some coffee on this one too, which is awesome. Caffeinated statue study. So it's gonna kind of have this, yeah. It's dangerous having coffee right next to your thing. So, yeah. And my mom's calling me. Yeah, so I was helping out my mom with garage stuff, and I actually forgot to pause my timer, so I'm just gonna assume that I have 7 minutes left and kind of go from there. So yeah, so I'm noticing like, oh man, I was about to dip my brush in coffee again. That's so deadly. Oh, and then okay. So now I'm just going to work on that mid-tone a little bit for the nose. So it's gonna kind of have this, it's darker, so I do need to add a little bit more pigment to it. It's kind of gonna, yeah, it's gonna have this depth. And then I'm going to kind of have this like line which is connected, kind of like that. And I'm also noticing there's a bit of a shadow form, kind of like this. Obviously I have to blend that now, but that's kind of the essence of it. So this nose is actually it's roughly the same shade, well, slightly darker actually, so I do need to account for that. So it's gonna be darker. Yeah, that looks good. And oh man, yeah, that coffee cup is begging to be dipped, so I might actually make that mistake every time. Yeah, so it kind of has this shade, shadow, which I'm trying to kind of capture right now. That looks a little bit unnatural, which I guess is what it is. Let's just see if I could kind of add some different shades to make it look a little bit less linear. Yeah, that's kind of good enough. It is what it is. Probably should have dampened it a little bit, but so far we have, I guess, 4 minutes on the clock still. So I'm just going to start with the mouth. So I'm just going to pre-dampen that a little bit. I added a little bit too much water. It's just gonna, there we go. That's pretty good. And this mouth is really dark in the reference, so I'm going to add a really dark, and it's just gonna kind of have this kind of like shadow here and here, and then it's going to kind of go up like this, and then you're gonna have like a really dark shadow here and guess this line is meant to be cleaner, so right now I'm kind of being a little bit too adventurous with that color. So I have to kind of add this blend to the mouth. The mouth kind of has this gradient here. It's gonna kind of have this, and I think just the mouth shape when I sketched it wasn't fully accurate, but that's okay. Now it's gonna kind of go like that, and you're gonna kind of have this kind of mid-tony kind of shadow like that. So yeah, I have 2 minutes left, so I don't really have enough time to refine things further. Let's just see if I could like really capture that darker. That's my lamp. Oh, this one looks kind of good. I think the piece is a little bit too wet, which made it. Then let's just add the nostrils. So they're kind of gonna go like this and like that. So it looks pretty awesome. And then would love to just accent this. Yeah, so yeah, it looks that looks all right. And then yeah, you have the mouth kind of like that. And then we're going to we're just going to try and capture those darker shadows on the piece, because there are quite a few of them. I don't want to make it too overpowering because they aren't super dark, but they are dark enough to kind of create this. Now it would be good if I actually made it pre-dampened. So yeah, if I kind of like added this, and then just added a really watery touch to it, it would kind of go like that. You're gonna kind of have this precise chin, kind of like that, and then let's just add this. This hair is going to also be a bit darker, so we're gonna do that, and then there seems to be some shadows here acting, and then if I could just accent the ear, that'd be awesome, but I'm not getting enough pigment, so might not work out, but yeah, it's kind of like this. And that is time. So overall, not a bad actually study. I was actually really happy with the sketching process. I think I got the general tilt and I was able to get some of the form. I don't think my brush was really cooperating with me in this one. And yeah, overall, I'm just, happy with the result. It seems to kind of capture the likeness, and yeah, just for 30 minutes, just sketching a statue. It's pretty awesome. And I think now I'll have to go to class pretty soon. So yeah, thank you for joining me in this process, and yeah, thank you. Cheers.